Hey everyone, I want to introduce you now to my great friend Min. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. Happy solstice.
Happy solstice. Okay, we're going to talk about you for a minute and how awesome you are. So, Min,
Oh,
yeah, we're going to read your bio. So, Min Claire founded the Kundalini Activation Light Integration Energy Therapy as a way to share this powerful and transformative healing modality with others. She's experienced firsthand the profound shifts that can take place and wanted to share the work with others. Kali realigns perspectives, opens up others to their spiritual gifts, and aids in releasing what weighs us down. Over the years, she's had the privilege of working with many individuals and witnessing firsthand the transformative power of this work. And she invites you to explore and to step into the power and brightness of your soul. And yeah, I've witnessed firsthand how amazing your work is. We got connected when I first started doing psychic fairs online. And it's just been amazing working with you over the years. But just tell us a little bit about how did you get into this? How did you discover this Kundalini activation? And yeah, what's your story?
well, first off, thank you so much for having me. This is a real honor. And what's my story? I asked myself that. I actually didn't even know what energy healing was about 10 years ago. And I was in a really dark place in my life. I gone through a separation, divorce, and a friend invited me to a clinic, or they just opened it, and I was kind of just at a place searching for something different in my life. And so I had my first energy healing, and that's when all my gifts, my life shifted, and my psychic gifts came out about 3 days after that. And at first, it was a real shocker. I had the energy healing, super powerful. Now I know it was my Kundalini being awakened, because my arms and my just everything was spasming, the energy was flowing, and a lot of I don't know how to describe it, but people weren't touching me. And at the time, I had no idea what energy healing was. So imagine no one touching you, but your body is releasing all of this stuff you've been accumulating through a lifetime. So 3 days after that, of all places, I was in a spin class. And now it makes sense because you're like in flow. But I heard a voice like make a comment, something funny about the class. And immediately it was like so clear. And immediately I turned around and I thought somebody was like right behind me. And I looked back and no one was there. And so this continued for about 3 days, which goes to show us how really connected we are, but we don't even realize it. But of course, me never experiencing any of this prior, I started to freak out. And I started thinking I was crazy. This now I know, I think it was my higher self, my guides, angels, however we want to think about it. But this voice continued for 3 days straight. And it was like my best friend. So funny. So just commenting on meetings, and really it was a guiding light. So afterwards, after I experienced that, I freaked out, and immediately it shut down. The voice was gone. And so I worked doing different processes over time to open that channel up. And so, as you know, I started doing psychic readings, which is how we got connected, right? But then I got introduced to Kundalini activation process. So I trained in Kundalini activation process, but something else came through, which is light code for me. which comes through as like, if you don't know what it is, sounds, notes for some people. It's dependent upon the group I'm working with and the individual I'm working with. So I went off about, gosh, last year I started teaching this modality to others. So that's in a nutshell how I got here. So thank you.
Yeah, actually I want to ask more about the light code, because I know not many people know about. Can you just tell us more about like what it is and how did you discover it? Did it just spontaneously happen, or?
It spontaneously happened in the training. And a lady, very beautiful soul, she like, came and sat next to me the whole entire time. And during the sessions, one session, it was almost as if we were having a little conversation, but it was really our bodies kind of talking to one another, a knowingness. And so for each person, as I'm working with them, something in their soul will talk to my higher self, and whatever comes through helps that person either release whatever they're holding on to, or perhaps just taking them to a higher dimension. But it's essentially energy, right? It's sound. Other times it sounds more language-ish, that but not comprehensible to us. So it's very interesting how for each individual it does change. At least that's been my experience.
Okay, it's been amazing to witness too. I love being in your sessions. I had one more thing I was curious about, because you mentioned going through that period of just coming in and wondering like, am I crazy or is this real? So how did you learn to discern that it was real for you?
Well, it just completely shut off. So believe it or not, I missed it because it was such a really beautiful experience, that having someone just know so much about you, right? What I use to help me then open up again is hypnotherapy. And so I would go into a trance state, and what came through, I started doing kind of readings in these trance states, and that confirmation helped me get confidence. So it's all about like confirmations we receive, right? Instead of just our own mind analyzing everything. That's the best, at least for me, that's been the biggest help, is like, oh, did this energy work? How did this help them? Did it do anything? In the beginning, you kind of wonder. So it's always that feedback loop that you're receiving.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. That's actually how I did it too. But I know that's a question a lot of people have, is how do I know if this is real or if it's not? So yeah. All right. So
the other thing is, I think so for some people, I think they have different experiences. And I find that if you find the voice like critical or kind of a worry voice, that's not from a higher place, right?
absolutely. That's your own brain. That's your survival self, the different parts of your brain interpreting the things that come in. So
yes, exactly.
All right, wonderful. Well, we're going to switch gears here in a minute. So I'm doing 2 recordings just